This is the Outer Realm, and now enters Ruriy. Well, here you have Ruriy. I had already talked a little about her previously, but I'd like to come back to my previous commentaries. As I said, her appearance seems inspired in Yuri Ham from Street Fighter, and I mean her face and her hair are seriously similar. She also exhibits different colored eyes, just like Yuri. But still, Ruriy is basically her own thing. Ruriy is supposed to be an exorcist or a priest or a sorcerer, something like that, but her costume is rather weird for it. I don't know why she has these balls on her sweater, for example. Her design is more than clearly a mix between modern and traditional Eastern influences, but I find too little of traditional in her. Like, these Asian rope things on her arms, hips, and wrists. I guess they were shorts on belts and bands this time. I think there's a couple of Chinese glyphs around too, and red charms tied around her boots. I don't know exactly why her arms are different colored, but I guess it has something to do with the Feng Shui and the priest color code. On the modern thing, for example, these bands look bulky and pretty futuristic. They actually remind me of that cyborg mutant Negro from Street Fighter 3. As I said, her clothes are not what one might expect from a Tao exorcist. I guess that's okay, since traditional exorcists like Sokaku from Fatal Fury are harder to believe and don't fit very much in the design style with the other characters in modern urban fighting games. But now, the element of her design that had most of the attention is her skirt, that looks like a thin piece of lingerie with a flower design that barely leans out under her kipao sweater, and it's veiled so it shows even more flesh. Combine it with the entirely bare legs, apart from the Peter Panish boots, nice nod to the magic fantasy genre, it gives the impression Ruriy is not wearing pants, which is pretty weird and summed up what I criticized back then as her main flaw. That's that the design looked a little incomplete to me, and I still think it is. I think the main problem is something of the body because, just having a plain white shirt, and then the bare legs, she may seem a little too plain from a certain perspective, and I still think she needs a distinctive gimmick. But of course, there was something I couldn't see until I saw her in-game. You see, there's a part of her design you can only see in-game, and that's the detail she carries a little barrette tied around her hips. This little miniature finish rounded up the traditional aspect of her design, and it's really helpful. It reminds me of those classic Eastern exorcists always carrying with them, charms, staffs, wooden drums, and other musical instruments. This is Ruriy's tool. However, although the little barrel is a good addition, it's not that memorable as to be considered her personal gimmick. The design still looked incomplete. Her palette was still a little off and lack of life, and she needed something else. But that changed when we saw her gameplay. Ruriy's gameplay really impressed me. I think it's terrific and one of the most original characters Tencent and Jade Studio has offered up to this point. And the barrel serves to a purpose within the game. Ruriy throws secret powder out of it and uses it to perform her attacks and special. How cool is that? I think this powder is some sort of incense. We all have seen when the Japanese spread salt and other things to cleanse the place and such. Well, here they use that gesture as her actual attacks, in which she forms actually damaging prayer chains and other attacks. Just genius! So I had talked before she was going to be a regular martial artist, and if she was like that, her design would have looked very plain, but actually her fighting style was based around flashy and colorful magic, filled with interesting special effects, that give her visually what the design solely by itself couldn't accomplish. On the gameplay itself, I love the way she has three almost entirely original subsystems that you can choose to adapt to your game style, instead of recurring to a single tactic. Those are the fireballs that one may create, delay, and shoot to juggle the opponent. Then this three-part chain push that may open to a wire, and the curse system that basically works as command throws, even including a rather useful command dodge. Seriously, Ruriy has a unique gameplay that should be more appreciated, and I'd like to have it available in many more games in the future. But let me extend on her visuals. She looks extremely good. Let's start with her personal animations. While she fights mostly using magic, she is not short of martial art poses and the physique required for them. She looks very flexible and prepared to fight, and has a generous amount of cool and believable kicks. And then there's the magic spells. Basically this yellow-orange energy that she uses to create her chains, but after they dispel, you can see they're clearly her holy powder. She also creates magic balls that look like some kind of fluid fire. When they burst on the opponent, there are flying Chinese glyphs all over. Even this weird command, in which she lights a torch over her head, well, what to say, simply looks cool and masterful. Ruriy is the true master of magic. Really exquisite animations and effects. And then there's the curses. Ruriy puts a seal on the opponent and a colored flames appears over its head. On a minor note, I'd like to say that prototype image originally showed her curses as ghostly tags circling the opponent, what made the character even more colorful. I guess they were changed because of RAM memory or simply because they were too distracting, I don't know. The colored flames look more discreet, I agree, but they are not as visually diverse as those original tags. Ruriy's supers are even more impressive, creating very spectacular forms and shapes. This one has weird mystic writing appearing, the others mostly inspired by the actual Tao mystic symbolic diagrams. In general, one of the most original and stylish sets of special effects in the whole game. The award goes to Ruriy. Now let's go with Ruriy's charisma. First, let me praise a little more her personal beauty. The long black hair is really gorgeous and the ponytail brings her a little of tribal savageness, but outside of that, she has a precious feminine face. On her personality, I like her very much. She is supposedly a talented exorcist, but also a businesswoman who asks for payment to rich families to help them out with the hauntings and the like. She seems to be rich for herself, but she is still pretty nice and easygoing. Despite of her ghastly business, Ruriy is surprisingly good-natured and optimistic. Even her bio goes to state she doesn't seem to hate anything. While not extremely cheerful to the point of being an airhead like Kaoru or Lin, she seems to take the fights with a carefree attitude, as she is powerful and successful enough to care about the negative aspects of her life. Then the in-game charisma. Ruriy has very cute reactions when she wins and shows some very funny tantrums when she loses, the latter being plain hilarious and cracking. Her voice acting is surprisingly good. Her voice is mostly refined. A little screechy when she wins. But you can pardon her because she is simply enthusiastic and doesn't care that much about leaving an impression. Winner! She is just happy being herself. Winner! And you shall love her. So, apart of being beautiful, Ruriy has an extremely likable personality and very much charisma with a cute expressive face. I love her. I plain love her and everything related to her. Well, actually, Ruriy has an alternate costume that is called Dragon Lady Ruriy and is said to represent her in her initiation ceremony or something. It consists on a traditional Chinese dress as well as different hair, even the color is different. I don't like this alternate skin match, practically nothing at all. First, it's very similar in concept and somewhat in appearance to Ahmed's alternate dress. Maybe they wanted to make them opposites and parallels, because it's the same idea. You know, the night dress. The second one is the personality. She looks rather cold and arrogant here, very different to her original cheerful personality. Some people find that sexier, personally I don't. I prefer the true Ruriy over this, and by far. So the costume looks good in game, is good animated and everything, but I still don't care much about it. Too bad because I wanted so much her big costume to be her alternate. It just looks so good. I hope there's still a chance for it to be used. And so they come my final notes on her personality. Ruriy has a very nice temperament and she goes right to the tournament simply to help, as she knows there are evil spirits there, so she is the right person to fight them. Probably she will have Ahmed as her main enemy. As you can see, simply heroic and detached, very little ego. Ruriy also has the potential of being an important character for the plot. She also seems to know about Jan's mother's secrets, because it says something was unleashed when Jan was born. So she could easily be the spiritual guide for the characters in this universe, akin to Rose and Chizuru in Street Fighter and KOF. Ruriy pushes forward the magic and mystic elements of the game universe, so she is a great addition in every way, and I'm really looking forward for her development. So this is the end of our journey. Ruriy is, you can see, one of the best characters proposed by Tencent. In terms of concept, gameplay, originality, and beauty, Ruriy is one of my top Xuan characters forever and ever. Ruriy also came around to raise the bar in the terms of what Xuan can offer in every aspect, and so far it's hard she will be surpassed as this game's revelation. With her, we close the Outer Realm cycle that introduces two unexpected and very peculiar fighters. So what a good closure! And so this is everything for today. See you next time and thanks for watching.